conversations continue here in Davos. One of the areas of focus has been the transition to green energy. And as Fatih Birol, the director, the head of the IEA, told me this morning that one of the myths that's been debunked is that on account of the challenging global macro environment as well as the war between Russia and Ukraine, that there would be a downsliding on the transition to green energy. But the numbers, as per Fatih Birol, don't bear that out. In fact, investments in the renewable energy space continue. What he also told me was that he finds India's numbers on the renewable energy side very exciting. I'm quoting him, those are his words. So to join me to discuss what the RE roadmap looks like is the Power Minister. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here today. As I mentioned, the hesitation was that because of the global macros as well as the war between Russia and Ukraine, that the world would move away from the targets on the renewable energy side. That has not been the case. As far as India is concerned, what does the roadmap now look like?
As far as we are concerned, we have, despite all the turbulence in the energy sector in the world, we have been on an even keel. My power supplies remain constant, prices have not gone up. And we have emerged as one of the largest growing renewable energy capacities in the world. We are already one of the largest renewable energy capacities in the world. The rate of our energy transition is the fastest in the world. We achieved our NDCs a good 9 years in advance. Today, for example, my established capacity is almost 42% of my overall capacity. And my power supplies are constant. I believe that we've kept adding capacities even during COVID. In 1 year during COVID we added 14,000 megawatts. In another year before that, we because of the lockdowns, the addition was about 8,000 megawatts. But then my capacity addition has continued, and it will continue.
In terms of capacity addition, what can we expect in the next 12 to 24 months? And more importantly, in terms of financing, because that's the other issue that everyone here is talking about. Is there any hesitation on what impact the global macros will have as far as fund flow is concerned, financing is concerned?
As far as we are concerned, I haven't seen that, because we have emerged as the most attractive destination for investment in renewables in the world. That's what the Bloomberg, the World Bloomberg survey tells us. And we are. I see it on the ground. Every bid I have is hotly contested. I have a large renewable energy industry, large number of companies, and all those companies are global scale size, a huge competition, and all those companies are invested in by all the major funds in the world. And here also a number of the funds, etc., have met me. They are either upping their investment in my sector or coming to my sector, those who have been outfield that they have been missing out, which they have been. Because my sector is now the largest, is the fastest growing, and it will be the fastest growing and the largest for the good 5-7 years to come. Because my demand is growing at 10.5%. I'm meeting that demand with renewables. So there's no better place to invest in. That the world knows, and the world is coming here.
So who are the investors that you've spoken to who are not yet in India and are now feeling compelled to be in India?
One, of course, is meeting me today. The Ontario People's Pension Plan. They are a huge pension fund. So they'll be coming to do that. Then there is another American company. They met with. They'll be coming. So by and large, as far as money is concerned, you see the rest of the world may have problems in getting investment. I haven't had. And my capacity today is 177,000 megawatts of non-fossil. I haven't had to put in a single paisa. It's all investments coming through different companies. As I said, even for green hydrogen, we launched this mission. And I already have plans. The companies in my country already have concrete plans for manufacturing 6 million tons of green hydrogen and 32 million tons of green ammonia already. So we started the groundwork earlier. And many of my companies, and the Indian companies, not my company, Indian company, private sector, have gone and tied up orders in Japan, in Germany already.
Yes, the cabinet did clear the green hydrogen mission, and you're right. A lot of large Indian conglomerates are looking at that opportunity and are talking about big investments.
Yeah, it's not only 3-4 large today I think I have 16 companies which have a capacity of plus 2 gigawatts, which is huge. So I have a huge industry, and that's what gives me the advantage.
Well, speaking about advantages, let me also talk about the vulnerabilities, and the vulnerabilities as far as the state of discoms are concerned and the health of discoms, and that continues to be a challenge.
But you're talking something.
It's a legacy. No, it's a legacy issue, but it continues to bother you today, doesn't it, sir?
No, I'll tell you why. Let me finish. You are talking about the past. We've changed it. Just like we changed the power sector, we've changed the state of the discom. How? In the past 1 year, we've reduced the AT&C losses by 5% in 1 year. From 22% in 2021, it's come down to 17%, 5% in 1 year. The losses have come down. The payables to Gencos by discoms have declined by almost about 35,000 crores. Every month, all the Genco's bills are cleared promptly, on time. So the world has changed, my dear. You know, in the past 4 or 5 years, we've changed the world. We've transformed our country from power deficit to power surplus. You know, when we started, when the Narendra Modi government came, it was power deficit. Today, we are power surplus. We've connected the whole country into one grid. We added 173,000 circuit kilometers connecting the whole country into one grid. We are today the largest grid in the world and the strongest. And we can transfer 112,000 megawatts of power from one corner of the country to another. India is now one market. So you can generate power in Bengal and sell it in Maharashtra, or vice versa. Or generate power in Bhuj and sell it in Guwahati. Wherever. We have 2 huge exchanges. We have strengthened the distribution system. Availability of power is now an average of 22.5 hours throughout the country. Mind you, that includes deserts and the hills, an average of 22.5 hours. And we've ensured universal access. We added 29 million new consumers. Every house we connected. So, I mean, it's a different, and we have, of course, made it viable. So, it's a different world. And we have emerged as a leader in renewable energy. In energy transition, we are, you know, the one body, international body, ranked us as amongst the top 5 countries. And the other 4 countries are small economies. We are the only major economy.
That's what I started with. I said that Fatih Birol said that the numbers in India look very exciting on renewable.
We are the only major economy whose energy transition actions are concentrated with a sub-2 degree rise in global temperature. Now, this is not only the capacity change which we have done. Today, 42% of my capacity is not fossil. It's such a rapid change. Can you remember, you know, just few years back, we had 80-90% coal? We've changed it. Now, we are the only major economy whose energy transition actions are concentrated with a sub-2 degree rise in global temperature. Now, this is not only capacity, emissions reduction. We had said that by 2030 we'll reduce our emissions intensity by 33%. We are already at 30%. And in a year's time, we'll have reduced our emissions intensity by 33%. So we have upped our emission. So the world now knows. In fact, that's why, you know, the president of WF, he came all the way to Delhi to invite me. Yeah. He met me in November, December, I think it was, and he said, "You must come." I said, "Why?" And so he said, "No, you have a story to tell."
Yes.
And you know, you need to tell that story, because what India has done is unparalleled. It is actually unparalleled.
Well, you know, you're telling that story not just here in Davos, but through CNBC, you're telling the story to people back home as well. But, you know, you brought up coal, sir, so I want to understand from you, what is the situation as far as coal availability is concerned? Because there was an earlier mandate as far as importing was concerned. That was withdrawn. Now there is a new mandate that's been put in place by the government. What is the coal supply situation at this point in time, and how concerned are you about this volatility that we see in terms of supply?
Coal availability, yes. Now, coal availability has been a challenge. We have had, I mean, we have imported and blended. So the blending has ranged from 10% to 6%. But this is not new. In fact, coal, you know, importing coal for blending has been going on since 2009-10. Since that time, it has been going on. And we have been blending around this percentage right from 9-10. In fact, though, it's about in the region of about 25 million tons every year. So that's, we felt that we could do away with blending. But so we had stopped blending. And we had said that, okay, the blending must stop, it must be all domestic. But then my demand spiked so rapidly. Imagine last year 8%, this year 10.6% is I mean, it's great. It shows that our economy is growing. If you want an indicator for the growth of the economy, what is power is the best indicator. So we are importing as much as we were importing earlier now, and we are fine. But let me tell you one thing, blunt, plain and simple. There will be no question of any shortage of electricity supply. For that, if I have to import more coal, I shall. Let there be no doubts. I am not going to compromise with the availability of electricity for the growth of the country or for a higher standard of living for our people. Now, this I am saying from a position where I am already a leader in energy transition, I am already a leader in climate action. But I am saying this. I will continue to be a leader. But make no mistake, I am not going to compromise with the availability of power. That will be available for growth.
I think that is well understood, and also in many ways I think that argument has now gotten traction and resonance with the rest of the world. They understand
what they do. Yeah. I'm not concerned what they do. I'm already a leader in climate action, but I'm very clear in my mind. So if necessary, I'll import more to blend, but there's not going to be any disruption. Yeah.
Let me address another issue with you. In light of what has happened in Joshimath, and of course all construction activity now stands stalled, the NTPC project stands stalled as well, till there is an assessment of where things currently stand. Are you undertaking any review of the entire region of hydel projects at this point in time?
Some facts must be clear. There seems to be some ignorance of the facts. The NTPC project is 15 kilometers away from Joshimath. There are numerous villages between the NTPC project and Joshimath. Nothing has happened to those villages. Even villages right near the project, nothing has happened. No slides, no cracks. Right? If it were because of the project, the villages closest to the project would have been impacted. Nothing. No village between NTPC and Joshimath has been impacted. That is point number one. Point number two is that the problem of Joshimath surfaced in 1975. And in 1976, the governments of India and Uttar Pradesh set up a committee. And that commission, which had the best experts, came to they sort of brought out that Joshimath has actually grown up unplanned on the remains of a slide, huge mammoth slide, which you call a moraine. So it's moraine land actually. Yes. And it is not stable land on stable rock, on uniform rock. It is discrete pieces of large rock below because it's part of a slide and resting on gravel. And all these houses which have come up unplanned, they are without drainage and sewage, discharging water into the ground. Now that is causing the slide from time to time. So 1975, the NTPC project started in 2009. Right. So the problem of Joshimath is not because of the NTPC. Even
I'm not saying it is because of NTPC. Yeah. I'm saying that as of today, all activity has been stopped. I'm asking whether any review is being done, because there is a review underway on what could have caused this issue.
But what has caused this was already clear in the report.
In 76.
In 76. Thereafter, in 2010, another report, another committee came. They also said, similarly the same thing. And the 2009, the NTPC project started. 2010, that survey looked at the NTPC project, and they said that it's not impacting any of the villages around, nothing. And then 2022 again, there was this another survey. They also came to the same conclusion. So the facts are clear. It's not because of the NTPC project. Whether, right now, when this started, as abundant matter of abundant caution, I said, stop work. Let us first get to the bottom of it, and then we shall start. So then they gave me all the data, etc. So all that data is there before me.
let me end by asking you, sir, you talked about the audacity of ambition. What is it that you're going to aspire for now in terms of the next targets, given the fact that you feel very confident on the progress that's already been made? What's the next ambitious goal that you would like to focus on?
In fact, whatever we have pledged, we'll cross that again. One we crossed 9 years in advance. So the next pledge which we have made is that by 2030, 50% of our capacity will come from non-fossils. I will achieve that before 2030. That is one. The second is...
How much before, sir?
But it will be before. The second is that I want the people to have a choice. Number one, I want the discoms have become viable, the losses have come down. They'll become more viable, more profitable. But I also want people to have rights. I've come out with a rule laying down the rights of consumers. I want those rights of consumers to be there in action. I want the consumer, the people of India, to decide that, okay, now to have a choice that this supplier is not good, so I will not take supply from him, I'll take supply from B. So the people must have a choice. And the distribution companies must feel that they are there to serve the people. They are not lords and masters. They are there to serve the people.
Prime Minister, many thanks for joining us here in Davos. Appreciate your time, and it's nice to speak to you and get an understanding of where things currently stand. Well, that is the Power Minister here pitching the India renewable energy story to the world. We will take a quick break and be back with you with more conversation at Davos 2023. Stay with us.